What is going on, Raptors Nation? Luca here, back with another video. And the Damian Lillard sweepstakes continue to get interesting by the minute. I feel like there's a different rumor, different report, different team getting involved as the minutes move on here. As we learn some other new details regarding the Damian Lillard saga. As Toronto named as a possible destination for Damian Lillard. This is according to Jake Fisher, who put out a recent piece on Yahoo Sports. I'm basically going to give you a Cole's notes of what Jake Fisher said about the Lillard trade rumors as it pertains to the Toronto Raptors. Before we dive right into it, do me a solid, hit a like on the video. It helps it a ton. And please subscribe to the channel for more Raptors content just like this. You can also follow me over on X at Luca Rosano3. So the Damian Lillard sweepstakes rage on, and according to Jake Fisher, the Raptors and Bulls are two possible destinations for Lillard. He said this: at this juncture, Toronto and Chicago have been the two possible destinations for Lillard discussed by most league figures. While a collection of NBA personnel expect Portland to engage Miami before finalizing something with another suitor, the Heat have not factored primarily in the Blazers' recent dialogue surrounding Lillard, league sources said. And this is something that Woj said as well, that the Heat have not been in the latest discussions with the Portland Trail Blazers. But of course, things can change with one phone call. But this is pretty significant because all along it did seem like the Miami Heat were the only destination for Lillard because he wants to be there. But since Portland and the Heat have not had recent dialogue, some other teams might be able to sweep in to the sweepstakes, or this could all just be smoke and mirrors. Now, Fisher did go on to say, which is something that I've been saying all along, is that the Raptors won't trade Scotty Barnes, and they have no intention of doing so. As Fisher said this, Toronto's made it clear to all inquiring parties that Barnes stands as the Raptors franchise focal point, sources said. Any deal with Toronto could include recent first-round selection Grady Dick, sources said. So a couple of things here. Of course, Raptors, they didn't want to trade Scotty Barnes for Kevin Durant. Why would they trade Scotty Barnes in a Damian Lillard trade? And it seems like if the Raptors were to orchestrate a deal, they would have to give up a ton of young assets and future picks. The Raptors do own all of their first-round picks, except for the 2024 one, which is top 6 protected. So Grady Dick, of course, would be a name that could be included in a package for Damian Lillard, as the Raptors just used their first overall selection in the 2023 NBA draft for him. Now, in terms of Pascal Siakam going to the Blazers in a potential deal, that seems very unlikely. Fisher does say that Siakam wouldn't necessarily fit in a package for Portland because he's due for a pricey extension, and it would be a curious commitment for the Blazers. They just paid Jeremy Grant a whole ton of money, so I doubt they would want to take on Siakam's future contract. And then in theory, the Raptors could create a package around OG Anunoby, which does seem like the only avenue at this point for the Raptors trading for Damian Lillard. But Fisher does say that Anunoby does bring his own share of financial considerations as well. And then Fisher outlines that the Phoenix Suns and Utah Jazz have emerged as teams that could be included in larger deals to help facilitate a Damian Lillard trade from the Blazers. So with the rumors going crazy right now, I think a trade's about to happen. I think it's coming soon. I think this is going to be wrapped up before training camp begins. Now, the other variable of this that I don't think a lot of people are talking about is the fact that the Blazers don't necessarily have to trade Lillard. Of course, it would be in their best interest to trade him away, give him what he wants, and start anew with some of the guys they got there. Scoot Henderson, their most recent draft pick. But if the Blazers don't get what they want, they can just keep Lillard and just let this thing play throughout the season and then maybe revisit something again at the NBA trade deadline. So it's very interesting to see what's going to happen from here. I do think something gets done before training camp, but there is a world where this thing lingers throughout. And now let's go back to the main part of this video. Lillard to the Raptors. Doesn't make sense. Will it happen? Well, for starters, the Raptors are no strangers when it comes to a superstar being available and them inquiring and being involved in the rumors. Last summer was all about the Kevin Durant sweepstakes. This summer into fall now, it's all about the Damian Lillard sweepstakes. And if the Raptors do strike a deal for Lillard, it wouldn't include Siakam or Barnes. Therefore, it would be a package around OG and Anunoby. Now, the problem is, and what I deem a deal breaker, is that Lillard wants to be in Miami. And according to Barry Jackson, he would request a trade if traded to another team. Now, I know the Raptors made it work once with a superstar who didn't want to be there in Kawhi Leonard, but this just feels different. Damian Lillard, he's been vocal, been very transparent that he wants to be in Miami. So I think if Lillard doesn't get what he wants, he could potentially make a fuss and make that situation very uncomfortable for the team that trades for him, not named Miami. So when you look at it from the grand scheme of things, the Raptors depleting the roster of assets, future picks for a disgruntled superstar who doesn't want to be there, who's 33 years old, who's owed a ton of money, it doesn't seem like a good idea. When you kind of factor in everything, I do think the risk outweighs the reward in this situation. I don't think the Raptors are going to get something done for Lillard. And I do still ultimately think Lillard will end up in Miami. I do think this could be a little bit of a ploy on the Blazers' part to get Miami scared that they are entertaining conversations with other teams in an attempt to get Miami to offer more. But I think when push comes to shove, Miami and the Blazers, with help of some other teams potentially named as the Suns or Jazz, could get a big blockbuster deal done sooner rather than later. But we'll see when it all comes to fruition. But that is just my take on all this. Raptors fans, do you see the Raptors trade for Damian Lillard, or do you think this is just all smoke and mirrors? Where do you think Dame lands? Let me know your thoughts down below. Hit a like and subscribe on your way out. That is it for me. This is Lucas signing off. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay safe.